Guys, all the cars that you see in these videos are for sale on my website, www.woodsandbarclay.com. Enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the video series on the 1996 left-hand drive diesel Land Cruiser, the HDJ80. So what I'm going to do in this walk around, I'm going to walk around the vehicle and read off a list of everything I have done to the vehicle. Now you can also watch all the videos showing this work being done on the website, woodsandbarclay.com. So let's go ahead and do the walk around. Guys, I want to go ahead and start off saying that this is currently, I think this is currently the nicest left-hand drive 1996 1HD-FT Diesel Land Cruiser in the United States. It is also one of the lowest mile in the United States. It is an absolutely incredible vehicle. Now watch the video on the website. I actually drive this across the country from Portland, Oregon, all the way back to Atlanta, Georgia. And it was actually imported from the Canary Islands. It was owned by a wealthy family who had a home. They were in Europe and they had a home in the Canary Islands, their winter home, and this was the vehicle that was stored there, and it was garage kept its entire life. All right, let's go ahead and start the walk around. So you can actually see this in the first video. I did a new timing belt, OEM Toyota, new timing belt pulley, new timing tensioner, new water pump, all OEM Toyota, new alternator dual belts, new AC compressor belt. There are, let's see, new brake pads, new tires. I repaired the passenger electric seat gear on the passenger seat. New fuel filter, OEM Toyota. New air filter, new oil filter. There was an oil change, OEM Toyota oil filter. Greased the front and rear drive shaft U-joints. Brake fluid flush, front and rear differential fluid was changed. The transfer case fluid was changed. Power steering fluid was changed. Coolant was flushed. I used the OEM Toyota red stuff. The undercarriage was dry ice cleaned. And of course, Scott professionally detailed it. And man, he did an outstanding job. The paint, that's original paint, guys, and it's absolutely remarkable. All right, let's go ahead and zoom into the details. Now again, everything I mentioned in that walk around, you can actually see me doing that in the videos on the website, woodsandbarclay.com. First thing I want to do is give a shout out to Scott. The original paint is absolutely beautiful, professionally buffed and polished. All of the chrome, the grille, the bumper, just absolutely beautiful condition. Original glass headlights. There's not even any rock chips up here. These are also the original wheels. And guys, if you're familiar with these vehicles, they're never that nice. They look absolutely great. And those are Yokohama tires. They're brand new. But of course, if you purchase the vehicle and would like a different brand of tire, I can install that on there, no problem. Original Toyota glass. Not sure if you guys can see it right there. Toyota. Now, these are actually aftermarket wind deflectors. I think they're really nice. They just clip on right here. They don't interfere with the windows going up and down at all. So I decided to leave those on here. All the original decals, beautiful condition. Scott also cleaned and polished the side steps. Looks like there is one little scratch in the decal right there, but hey, it's 1996. And that is the original tint from the factory. You can see the front windows are not tinted, the rear windows are. Here's the turbo diesel decal. We also buffed and polished all of the trim and the roof rack. Go back and watch the detailing video and you can see all of that. Also, I would like to show the original paint up here. remarkable condition. There is no clear coat failure anywhere on this vehicle. All the chrome, beautiful condition. Tail lights are in beautiful condition. No cracks or chips. And I also opted to leave. You see the pass on the left, don't pass on the right, and the original Spain sticker. That's kind of the history of the vehicle, and so I opted to leave those on there. Of course, you can take them off if you want. Original taillight, beautiful condition. It's got the mud flaps back here. It says Land Cruiser on them. I'll show you the one over on this side. I don't know if you've ever looked for one of these vehicles, but finding one in this condition with as low miles, I'll show you the mileage here shortly. Extremely difficult. These were never available in the United States. Now you can see how good the glass is. There's my reflection. The interior is remarkable on this vehicle. Oh, I'll show you the side step over here. Let me shut that door real quick. And this vehicle is all-time four-wheel drive. Of course, it is also a triple locker. You can lock the center, the front, and the rear. And I'll demonstrate that. The interior is remarkable. It is the leather interior, and the leather is outstanding condition. It is not torn. Absolutely beautiful. It's still soft. We treated the leather after cleaning it. The dash, beautiful condition. I mean, this is as close as you can get to new. I'll go around to the driver's side too. Of course, we cleaned all the floor mats and wrapped them in plastic. Cleaned all the doors and the door jambs. We go to the back seat here. The nets aren't stretched out or loose. Headliner is beautiful condition. Let's walk around here to the driver's side. Also, notice all the gaskets. Excellent condition. Those are the original gaskets. They're not ripped, they're not torn. They're soft, the rubber's still soft. Beautiful condition. The trim around the door, or the inner gasket around the door. Beautiful condition. All of the moldings, the plastic moldings. You can watch the video where I actually changed the seat gear. All the seats work, all the electric functions work. Everything works on this vehicle. Every single button, every switch, everything. All right, let's walk around. We'll take a look from the driver's side. This is a hard one to let go of, guys. And of course, you can see it's a triple locker. There we go. 131,941 kilometers. I'll put up what miles that is on the screen. One of the lowest mileage ones in the country. Again, all the seats work, all the motors work. Everything works in this vehicle. All the gaskets on the driver's door. Beautiful condition. Same goes for the plastic molding here. Excellent condition. Show you the back seat from this side. Let's go ahead and open the rear hatch. Okay, also guys, this is the original Spanish license plate that came with the vehicle, so I just temporarily put that back on. That will come with the truck. I think that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and look in the back here. And I don't have these screwed down all the way, guys, so it might rattle a little bit. There we go. You can see back here the carpet is beautiful condition. Now these seats will actually fold up and attach up here. I'll go ahead and do that. I got one hand, so I need to put the camera down, but you pull the strap and then you can lift these up. Let me demonstrate that real quick. All right, let's see. First we're gonna pull this handle here, fold that down. I need to set the camera down for a second. All right, there we go. I just put up one side to demonstrate. So when these are up, you can see how much more room that you have. And I'll go ahead and fold that one up too. There you go. That's, you know, if you need to load a lot of cargo or whatnot back here. And they just clip around right up there. And when they're unclipped, that hook tucks into this little pocket here. And then the seat just folds down and reconnects to the attachment brackets right here. Sorry, that license plate is loose. That's why it rattled like that. Let's go take a look at the engine compartment. This is my favorite part of this vehicle. You know, I own a classic diesel Mercedes restoration shop, and diesels are just superior engines. I know there's a lot of gas engine fans out there, but if you're watching my channel, you're most likely a diesel guy. And I just love diesels. And the Land Cruiser, the 1HD-FT 24 valve, inline 6 diesel engine. This basically came out around the same time the OM 606 Mercedes engine came out. So these were, I guess, they came out at the same time. You could call them competitors, but I don't think they were competing, you know, two very different vehicles. But of course I've changed the timing belt and the tensioner and all that, and I wrote the mileage right there. I did that in Oregon before I started back across the country. Has brand new Bosch batteries installed. You can also see I put new belts on here, and you can't see behind there, but there's also a brand new water pump. All the fluids and filters have been changed, and we have cleaned and degreased the engine compartment. You can see all the zinc plating is actually still on the injection pump here. Mercedes also did this. They put zinc plating on a lot of parts in the engine compartment. That's the original hood pad. Outstanding condition. We also cleaned and polished all up here on the chrome. We cleaned all along the hood. And this is an amazing engine, guys. You can get 500,000 miles out of this thing if you treat it right. Change your oil. I always say every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, change your oil. I use 15W40 in it because I'm in the southern United States. If you're in a colder climate, you could go with a little lighter weight. All right, let's go ahead. We'll go inside the Land Cruiser. I'll crank it up. I'll show you that everything works. Oh, and it does come with 2 sets of keys and 2 remotes, and they're the originals. The glow plugs, so they only come on briefly. Let me show you. You turn the key, there's the glow plug light, it's off, and you just literally bump it, and it starts that quick. All right, let me straighten the wheels out here. That's the emergency brake light, off, on. The idle is set perfect. can see it's a cold engine. Also, on this vehicle, I'll demonstrate, there is an idle adjustment here where you can lock the idle. Let me see if I can show you this. So basically you pull this knob out and then you turn it to lock the idle. Now I'm assuming that was if you have a winch or something hooked up and you're off-road and you need a higher idle. See, watch, I'm gonna pull it and watch our idle here. So I can turn up the idle, then I'll spin it to the right, and I've now locked that idle. See, that is now out and it's locked. And we're now idling at like, what is that, 1200, something like that. And I just spin it. See if I can get down here with the camera. You can turn it back and unlock. And that goes as high as, let's see, looks like you can go about up to 2500 or so. You could probably go higher, but I don't want to do that. Yeah, you can lock it in place there. As far as the air conditioner, it is ice cold. Is actually, when I was traveling across country, I had to point the vents away from me because it was so cold. AC's on. We'll put it on high. It's blowing in the camera, so let me put it back on low. All this works. We also have the antenna. So I'm going to turn on the radio. And then I'm going to put the antenna up. And I've lubricated that antenna. Works perfect, up and down. Turn that back off. All right, so we are in, let's see, neutral. And I'm gonna lock the center transfer case. There we go. It is now locked. Now, let's do, got it neutral. We're gonna lock, we have our diff lock over here. Push, and we're gonna lock. There we go. Now, it's electric, and it's moving a solenoid back there, so it takes a second to engage. And there we go. We have all three locked. And now to unlock, we can go over here. We'll turn these off, and we're going to go back into high. We'll unlock our center. And now sometimes you got to go forward a little bit to get the rear diff to unlock. There we go. That just turned off. Now we are unlocked. All right, let me back up into my spot. All right, what else can I show you guys in here? Rear heat. That turns on. You can hear the blower motor back there. Rear defrost works. Flashers work. Clock works. Let me put on the parking brake here. Let's show the interior lights. There we go. And we'll do the sunroof. Works beautifully. And the wind deflector correctly comes up. Here's the wind deflector right here. And the tilt also correctly works. So let me shut it and show you the tilt. There we go. Let's do the tilt. Works beautifully. We'll go back down, and then we'll close our sunshade here. Also, all of the windows work. So let's see. I'm going to do the passenger side first, the front and rear. Now you notice the windows, the motors are not slow. That's a common issue on Land Cruisers. And these are not slow at all. See how fast they go up and down? Let me show you the driver's side. Let's see if I can do this and hold the camera. Well, we'll just do this window first. See how fast it is? All right, and then over here, we'll do, there's the rear window. Works perfect. They're not slow, they're all fast and 100% operating. Let's see what else can I show you in here. Oh, so I did include, in the video you saw me doing the seat repair over here where I changed the gear. I also included another gear, so if that ever happens, you know, several years from now, if it happens on any other gears, you do have an extra gear. I'm putting that in here. Let's see. Look at the visors. And I'm leaving this in here. I think the family that owned this was Catholic, and This appears to be maybe a Catholic saint. So any of you guys know who this is, you can post in the comments. I think that's kind of cool. I'm going to leave it in here. And gosh, I guess that's really it. You know what? I don't have any tapes, but back at the house I had a tape. The tape deck actually works too, which is pretty awesome. And never smoked in. Also, in the glove box, we have all of the original books and manuals. Now, being from Spain, they are in Spanish, but they're all in here. All right, I think I've showed you guys everything. Now, if you look in the previous video I made, it's nighttime, and I show the adjustable headlights here. You can actually aim your headlights up or down. That also correctly works. Let's do the window motors first. I'm sorry, the side mirror motors. First, we'll go to the passenger side, out, back in, up, down. Those work correctly. We'll do the driver's side. There we go. In, out, up, down. That all works correctly. And you can also see too, oh, this is the dimmer switch for when your lights are on. You can dim the bulbs. Of course, it's not dark out, so we can't see that now. You can see the engine's coming up to temperature. Got good hot oil pressure at idle. Batteries charging. Full tank of gas. Guys, everything works 100% on this vehicle. Oh, I know something else I can show is the rear wiper. That also works. There we go, on. There we go. You can see in there, it works perfect. Including the squirter back there. Put that back off. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it back into the shop, and we will turn out the lights, and I will show you that all the gauge lights work, headlights, blinkers, all of that. All right, guys, we're back in the shop. I've got the lights out, and I wanted to show you that all of the lights in here work. Let me shut out my camera light here. There we go. And we can also dim and brighten. All of that works correctly. We have high beams, low beams. Now also we can adjust the headlights. Well, you probably can't see that inside the shop because there's not much room. Yeah, you might be able to see it a little bit. But you can see that in the other video on the website. And, whoops, sorry, let me hit the blinker. Got the blinker over there. And the blinker over there. Everything works correctly. All right, guys, I think that is it. I tried to show every single detail in the video. If I left anything out, please let me know. But easily one of the nicest 80 series left-hand drive diesel Land Cruisers in the United States. Hope you guys enjoyed the walk around video. Email me or call me if you have any questions. Like I said, there's 4 or 5 videos on the website that cover this vehicle in great detail. Hope you enjoyed the walk around. We'll see you next time. All right, guys, that is where she's going to be sitting for the next buyer, covered under plastic, safely in my shop to protect that beautiful detailing job by Scott.